A new generation of superpowered students is ready to begin classes. All this and more in the pages of Teen Titans Academy issue number 1. Let's hop on in together and find out what happens next, shall we? So then, as we join this new series from Tim Sheridan, a group of bright-eyed and bushy-tailed super kids are on their way to Titan's Tower, which has been retrofitted into one giant school for gifted youngsters. I mean, powerful tots. I mean, exceptional kiddos. I mean, we're gonna circle back to that one and find something that's not copyright infringement. All your favorite Titans, past and present, are there as teachers. In fact, this is probably the first time they've all been together since, God, the New 52. Has it really been that long? In fact, this is probably one of the nicest little after effects of Death Metal and Infinite Frontier, as the Titans now finally remember their history and all being friends and liking each other. So much to the point that the Titans Academy isn't just the Titans Academy, it's the Roy Harper Memorial Titans Academy. Wow, they've done more to honor this guy in death than they've done to honor him in life in over a decade. I will admit the big orientation speech from Starfire and the others could probably have used a little bit more work. They tell their students that they're not expecting them to change the world, but to make a dent. That's admittedly a bit of a fatalist statement to drop on these kids on their first day, especially when we stop and consider that you guys as Titans literally have changed the world in the past. The whole situation actually only serves to get a little bit more awkward from there, as we discovered that there was actually an application process for the Titans Academy and not everyone who applied got in. So they're okay with a bunch of unaccompanied superpowered minors running around in the world out there? What was the criteria for getting in? You know what, I'm getting sidetracked. The older Titans in their roles as teachers also end up running smack dab into a series of generational gaps. First, Starfire and the others want them to do a kind of pledge of allegiance, only to realize that a bunch of the younger teens totally aren't cool with that kind of thing. I mean, it's not like the new kids don't have a point. This isn't feudal Europe. Why must they be forced to sign an oath of fealty on their first day, no less? Nightwing similarly steps into some hot water when he makes a Harry Potter Defense Against the Dark Arts joke, only for most of the kids not to laugh because, Geez, book, we've only just begun, and you really have some things to say about the kids of today, don't you? The first training exercise also ends up taking a rather unexpected turn when we realize a bunch of these kids are actually really interested in the story of Red X, which has been completely canonized from the old Titans cartoon show. Dick says that while he was the first one to don the Red X identity, he wasn't the only one. There were 2 other people after them, but Dick says that they don't have to worry about Red X because whoever they were, they're dead now. We do get some downtime to actually meet the other members of the team. I'm personally a big fan of the designs when it comes to Chupacabra and Stitch. Hell, even Billy Batson Shazam is a student at the school right now. Of course, that begs the question, why didn't Mary Marvel become a student too, and all the other Marvel family members? It's here too we're also reminded that there's a bit of a hierarchy at the school. The professors are the main Titans team, and the upperclassmen are classified as the Teen Titans team. That team is made up of some familiar faces like Wallace, West, and Bunker, as well as newer characters like Roundhouse and Crush. We see them duking it out on a mission against the villain known as Clock King, who, man, this may actually be the most prominent Clock King has been outside of a Green Arrow book in a long time. It's not all sunshine and rainbows either, as the upperclassmen are forced to share their living quarters with the new underclassmen, and Tubular Boy almost has it out with Roundhouse once they realize they have to sleep in the same room. These kids have also brought their own fair share of baggage too. We're introduced to a kid named Brick, which is both his real name and his superhero name. He's capable of creating organic EMPs, and while everyone else is out partying and socializing, he's practicing the blade. I mean, practicing in the simulator room. Donna Troy tries to take the kid under her wing and give him an outlet for what is clearly a lot of rage, given the fact that he also seems to be the most interested in that Red X stuff from before. Should really be a massive red flag for everybody involved. Tonight's a big night at the Titans Academy, not only because it's orientation for all the new students, but it's also Dick Grayson Nightwing's birthday party, and if this scene seems familiar, it's because we saw it already in that Future State Titans Academy book. One of the stranger gifts Nightwing is given is the original Red X mask. He thought that he had lost it and feels that one of these kids must be playing a joke on him as the box had no name on it. Dick opts to use all of this as a teachable moment, though, telling the kids that Red X is something that they should never hope to be, something that caused Dick himself to almost lose himself once upon a time, and something he hopes will never happen again. But wait a minute, what if there's already a new Red X inside the walls of the Titans Academy right now as the comic comes to a close? And so that was Teen Titans Academy issue number 1, everybody, and ultimately it was a lot to take in, and not all of it's something I would say I enjoy. There's an odd bit of abrasiveness going on in this first issue. I know that conflict is the soul of drama, and that it wouldn't be a particularly interesting story if all the kids showed up here to Titans Academy on the first day and were singing Kumbayas and everything. But I'm also a firm believer in no second first meetings, and I cannot help but shake the feeling that Tim Sheridan was just kind of metaphorically shaking his fist and going, "Oh, you kids today." Also, say what you want about someone like Dan DiDio, who never really wanted to use a lot of the Titans characters because they made him personally feel old. But in just a few lines of dialogue here, Sheridan has managed to make some of my favorite Titans feel, well, positively ancient. And again, I'm sure a lot of that is the point. You need to have generational divides between the Titans who used to be the new young kids on the block and the next generation of kids they're supposed to be training, and I'm sure by the time this series hits its first volume, they'll come to better understandings. I just couldn't help but feel that there was a better, less clumsy way to accomplish all of that. Then you got the mystery of who is Red X and what was the original Red X all about. And while it's certainly cool to see this fan favorite bit from the Teen Titans cartoon series finally canonized officially in comics, I hope that's not all this new series has to offer and this doesn't become a Red X wank fest. I've often compared Red X to Boba Fett, another character from a series that people positively love despite the fact that canonically they never really did much until recently, so here's hoping Teen Titans Academy will be for Red X what The Mandalorian was for Boba Fett. Overall, though, I'd feel comfortable giving this one a 7 out of 10. I'm interested to see where the story goes from here, and I'm especially interested to see this cross over with that new Suicide Squad book as well soon. Hey there everyone, Cape Joel again, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you see, be sure to like, subscribe, comment. It really helps drive engagement and helps me out too. Also, if you are a patron, which you can become for as little as $1 a month, you will get exclusive content that no one else can ever see, and you'll get to see the Comic Multiverse podcast before anyone else too. You can check out all this and more down in the description. And until next time everyone, this has been Cape Joel, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.